I'm Michael Bain, and welcome to Triggered, coming to you as always from the secret hidden bunker in the Rocky Mountains. But this week, let's head back to the Lucid Optics Ballistics Summit at the Whittington Center in New Mexico for some long-range instruction from Brian Hunter, who is on the pro staff for Accurate Mag, make great magazines, some spectacular long-range rifles, and a little bit of the heat of competition for all the participants.
So what we are doing today is 560 yards. The rams are back there. Each shooter is going to have a number, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we have your target set up. These targets will drop when they are hit. We are giving you 2 rounds per ram down there. So you get 2 rounds at each position. If you don't hit in those 2 rounds, you're just gonna go ahead, open bolt, move to your next position. After you shoot these 4 slots here, we are then going to bring you over here and have you shoot from this position at the buffalo. So best way to do it, push your heels out, lock your knees, and bend over. You can use your rear bag support. The best way to use this rear bag, if you squeeze and release on this bag, it is going to adjust the ride height of the rear of the rifle. This is going to give you the best stability for this rifle without you bouncing and moving on it. Rear bags are wonderful, just the same as they are on a barricade. When we are going to shoot off these type of barricades, my suggestion is, as you are here, is to actually preload the barricade a little bit. If you try to let it go loosely, you're going to get some wobble on this. If we preload it to the forward just a little bit, it's going to take some of that out of it. You want to try to leave your weight of the rifle on your bag, on your barricade. Let your barricade hold your rifle. Only thing you're doing is pushing forward just a little bit. Let the rifle be supported by this, or else you're putting added input into a rifle, and if you add input to a rifle, you're going to get output out of it. The more output you get, the more you're going to miss. You know, pretty plain, simple. You know, I think most people understand that. That's across the board: pistol shooting, rifle shooting, carbine shooting. You know, same principles. This rifle is a 6.5 Creedmoor, built by Accurate Mag, model 725, and this is a 45-degree action. It is. All right, shooter understands the course of fire.
Yes.
Is shooter ready?
Stand by. Begin. I know.
Impact.
He was paying attention.
Yep, nice transition. Impact.
Sandbagging back. Shit. Side.
Re-engage.
Rail.
Impact. Impact. All right, moving to the bench. Leave the big bag. All right. We are going to dial.
Just over top. Time.
Go ahead and send it.
Welcome back to Triggered. Over the last few weeks, we've been talking about general purpose rifles and the option of using a fixed power optic as opposed to a low powered variable scope, which are of course very good, but fixed power optics have the advantage of being light and really pretty easy to deal with. So I wanted to show you where I was on this Ruger small frame AR, of course in 308. As we talked about before, this is a Lucid Optics P8, which is a 4x magnified optic. It's got their blue reticle in it. It's an excellent optic, excellent reticle. Now, in front of it is another Lucid product. This is their Litl Mo. About 3 or 4 years ago, they introduced a red dot sight. It's an excellent red dot sight. It's mounted at 45 degrees on this particular mount is a True Glow. Every company makes a 45 degree sight mount for an AR pick rail. Why would you do that? Actually, someone asked me, they said, well, you got a 4X optic. Why would you put a 1X red dot on it? What kind of crazy person would do that? How about the United States government standard issue 4X Trijicon ACOG magnifiers fitted with a 1X red dot Trijicon RMR? Why is that? Because it turns out that most targets are either near or far, and it doesn't matter whether you're in combat or whether you're shooting, say, 3-gun, whether you're taking a class with your rifle, or whether you're using it for home defense. Targets are either near or far. You also have the mechanical offset. As you shoot closer targets, well, your sight is what, an inch or two above the bore. So when you shoot dead on at a close target, what happens is you're shooting about 2 inches low. You get around that with a red dot sight. The P8 is zeroed at 100 yards and it has slash marks for me to get a really good picture on, say, 200, 300, 400 yards. But the red dot sight, the Litl Mo, is zeroed at 15 yards. It's what you deal with close-up targets. It's a matter of canting the gun 45 degrees. Takes a little getting used to, but I've done it in 3-gun. It's very fast. So over the months, we're going to be talking more and more about the general rifle concept and some options for you. When we come back, we're going to look at a product design to keep you safer. This week's Triggered is brought to you by Taurus USA. Always ready, always bring it. Stoger, everyday tough. SDS Imports, Thesis. Thesis means quality. Hunter's HD Gold. They change so you don't have to. And MTM Case Guard, quality shooting sports accessories. This week, I want to introduce you to a new and important advertiser, and that's Muzzle Stick. They make muzzle flags, both unloaded and loaded. I think you can figure out pretty well the unloaded part. When I travel, for example, I use a muzzle flag with the gun in the case. The consequence of that is TSA has stopped asking me to open the case to see whether it's unloaded or not. It really makes a difference. When guns are in your house and possibly available to another person, this is just one more redundant step. You're like, well, what's the use of a loaded flag? Probably 58% of the population, I believe is the latest study, keeps a loaded gun in the house somewhere. A lot of times it's in the closet. My father hid guns all over the house. After his death, I had to go through the house, find them, and unload all of them. If you're keeping a gun in the house, what is wrong with a redundant flag? In the barrel right there, if someone looks at the gun, you know what? They say, oh, it must be loaded. There's tens of thousands, millions of new people coming into our culture, and not all of them have the 4 rules of gun safety tattooed on their brain yet. I wish they could. I wish there was a pill they could take where, wow, all of a sudden, boom, they know those rules of gun safety and they live by them. But I think the key to safety with firearms is redundant, redundant, redundant. So Muzzle Stick is making great, big, bright flags. There's no doubt as to what this flag is telling you, and you can clearly see that portion of the flag through the barrel. So, muzzle stick, good job. You're going to be seeing more of them in use here. I'm Michael Bain. This is Triggered. You can find us on michaelbain.tv, always free. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Rumble. And you can find us on X that used to be Twittered. Lots of information, and we will see you next week.